Hello everybody, welcome to Mates, Movies and Malts, the podcast which the name of I always get wrong. Jordan, Stefan, how we doing?
Doing good, man.
Very good, mate.
I'm good, man. I'm glad to be in the middle.
Yes.
It always feels good to be in the middle of you two.
Feels like my neck's not going to get sore this week. It's
not even my birthday. You know what I mean? So this is the podcast where we talk about our mates and movies and malts all the time. We sit and we drink and we talk about geeky stuff, don't we, guys?
Yeah.
And it's been good fun so far. We've released the first couple of episodes now. We're feeling good about that. The feedback has been absolutely fantastic, which we're really pleased about. And yeah, I think we just wanted to kind of say a few thank yous, didn't we, guys?
Definitely.
Jordan?
Yeah, genuinely the response has been amazing. Like Peter said, the first 2 episodes have been up now. That's a week. We've got 2 episodes out. The response has been absolutely phenomenal, and we genuinely can't thank you enough. Whether you're following us on Instagram, TikTok, or you're watching on YouTube, you're watching on Spotify, keep the comments coming, keep the feedback coming. It's been absolutely amazing. Yeah,
and if you're not, get the finger out. You know what I mean? Get us subscribed, get us liked, help a brother out.
Rate, follow.
Aye.
And on a personal level, I'll thank Al Thompson, who passed along that you can actually play Dark Cloud, which was my game that I mentioned as something I would love to either get remastered or even just play again, and apparently it's available on PlayStation Plus. So I dug out the PS4 and I've been reliving my childhood.
Had you buried the PS4?
Well, I switched to Xbox.
I know, but why did you have to dig it up? I know. Listen, thank you very much. A very special thank you as well to the pod mother who's standing behind the camera and has been on every episode so far. Thank you very much, Eileen. I usually call you mum, to be fair.
It's normally mummy you call it.
Mummy, I know. I do prefer that. It's definitely not more. But aye, so listen, let's crack on, guys. What are we talking about this week, Jordan? I believe you've got a bit of a surprise in store for us.
I do, yes. Before we do that, I think Stefan, you had one other thing you wanted to say?
Yeah, it was just a thing that was mentioned by your wee brother, Liam. Mentioned that at the end of the first episode that we released, there's 30 minutes of dead air. It was just an oversight. It's our first episode. Won't happen again. But I just thought it was funny because he mentioned he flipped through the 30 minutes of dead air thinking we'd added in a post-credit scene.
I got a fair bit of feedback that 30 minutes was the best bit of the pod.
So moving on to this week's content, so the guys don't know what we're doing this week. I kind of set it out, something a wee bit different rather than just doing the usual top 5. We do something a wee bit different. So this week we are going to be talking about fan theories.
Ooh, okay. So
I've got a few different fan theories that I'm going to set out to you. We'll talk about the weight that it's got behind them, whether we think it's a good fan theory or whether we think it's, atrocious. We'll kick off then. So the first one I've got is a fan theory about Friends. So back in 2015, a fan took to Twitter to put forward a theory that all of the Friends took place inside of Phoebe's mind.
Okay.
So it has been well documented throughout Friends that Phoebe was homeless for a large portion of her life. The theory goes that her begging spot was outside of Central Park and that she then saw these characters in the cafe and then just injected herself into the life in her fantasy, and none of it actually ever happened.
That's really, really sad.
It's very dark.
Oh god, that's grim.
I think the thing is though, when you think about Friends, they didn't really ever dig into the negativity of the fact that one of the main characters had been homeless and had lived that life. It was always just
definitely has some mental illnesses going on.
She's wild, I don't necessarily think it's I think with fan theories, often you get stuff that could potentially be confirmed by the filmmakers or the TV makers or whatever else, but I don't think anyone would ever film that or confirm that. I just think that's quite a nice little joke,
and I like mention that because in 2023 Mark Kaufman came out and said that is absolute bullshit.
Okay, fair enough.
That's a shame because I was going to say it would help explain, if it's all her imagined things, it would help explain some of the stuff that doesn't make a great deal of sense.
I mean, the continuity issues in Friends.
How much money they've all got?
How much money they've got for working
2 hours a day.
relatively normal.
Once a week.
They'll never ever work. They have these incredible like apartments that they live in and things like that. So yeah, a homeless person that doesn't quite understand how money works, absolutely, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Surely if that was true though, they'd have had to have called it No Friends.
Or nae pals as
Nae
we
pals,
call it.
aye. Phoebe Namates.
So how much weight do you think there is behind that one then? Had Mark Kaufman not come out and said it?
I would have given that a 7 out of 10.
7?
7.
This is going to be wild tonight. I'd have gave that a 0.
Honestly?
Aye.
Not even as
In terms of
a wee fun story?
Oh no, I like the story, I like the idea, so if we're including that, I just thought you meant on the likelihood of it being true.
Oh no.
No, I mean, I like it, I'll give it a 3 based on likefulness.
Likeability?
Likeability is exactly the word, thank you.
No problem.
Likefulness.
I enjoyed that one.
Okay, so we'll give that a 3. So we're starting off quite light.
Just 7's just been bombed out.
Just going. You're going to take an average.
I'm in the middle of the night, mate.
Oh, fuck
Quite
me.
easy to just go
It's
with
so
a
easy
5.
when you
I know,
just
man.
take your bait so quickly.
Damn it.
Crap. So the next one we're going to move on to, this is mainly just for Peter. It's a well discussed within the Star Wars universe, and it's that Jar Jar is a Sith Lord.
Yeah.
So in 2016, Reddit user Lumpuro, apologise if I'm butchering that, posed that Jar Jar is actually a powerful Force user working with Darth Sidious. Some of the things people have pointed out: he does a 20-foot standing twisting somersault. He waves his hands around a lot while he's talking. Try to get his point across. Could this be the use of Jedi mind tricks and not just the fact that he's a bumbling idiot? And the title Phantom Menace points at Jar Jar being the menace of phantoms and not Anakin.
I've seen this one before, and I saw like a video explaining it. They put forward some like really good stuff. There's a scene where it's Qui-Gon and Anna is talking to Anakin when they've just gotten to Coruscant, and it's basically just showing a close up of the two of them. And at one point it pulls back, and the two of them are talking, and for some reason Jar Jar's in the frame, just standing perfectly still, and people have zoomed in, and his mouth is moving as if he's actually the one that's making someone
Like
say.
Snape in Philosopher's Stone doing the curse on the broom.
Aye, when he's doing the counter squirrel.
Aye, so
Harry Potter.
I know you do, man. I know you do.
but just that kind of thing. They've included loads of different stuff. It's not coming to me right now, but no, I like that one as well.
I think it's fun. I think Jar Jar's such a character that it gives him something about him.
I think the thing that would need to lend a bit of weight to it is that there's never any. He is the entire time just a bumbling idiot, and there is never any sort of hint or inclination as to there being anything other than stupidity driving his movements.
Actually, that's just made me remember a bit.
He's that hobo.
Because someone makes the comment that there's no such thing as luck. It's the Force, and the fact that he is so lucky, especially through that like final battle and things like that.
I mean, I again, I don't think it necessarily holds much weight, but I mentioned it on one of the earlier episodes actually when you'd said something else when we were talking about characters in different films. It's a fan theory I've heard loads. It's good fun. It's funny, and when you read into the in depth, there's been quite a lot of fan fiction written now about Darth Jar Jar and stuff, which is quite funny. But I think it's fine.
Me's a in trouble.
Aye, me's your humble servant. The fan theory from also, by the way, the Phantom Menace is Palpatine, not Anakin. You said Anakin earlier on. I thought you meant that's what you thought the Phantom Menace was. I was like, we can't be saying we're geeks and getting that sort of shit wrong. But especially now, you know how I feel about Phantom Menace.
Staunch defender.
But no, the fan theory I do like about Star Wars has always been about Palpatine having manipulated the Force to create the virgin birth of Anakin, and that's never been outright confirmed, but it's been hinted at and touched on and whatever else, and I do think that started as a fan theory, and I do think that actually potentially could get confirmed at some point, that's what happened.
Space Jesus,
aye. But that's the one I've always kind of thought held a bit of weight.
So you're more into Space Jesus than Jar Jar being a Sith Lord?
Aye, more into Space Jesus than the Gungan Devil.
That is the title of this episode.
Aye, that's a sentence that has never and will never been said again.
You heard it here first.
So giving it a rating?
Yeah, because of how massive it should be. Because of how massive it's gotten, I would probably give it a 5.
Cool. I'll get a 9.
A 9?
9.
On likability?
He's going to ruin this episode, isn't he, man?
The only thing that could have made the sequels to The Phantom Menace better was more Jar Jar, and I think they missed the boat.
More Jar Jar.
More Jar Jar.
Do you think he deserves a spin-off?
He's in a playful mood tonight.
Yes, look at me being naughty.
Aye. he's got a double rum, and there's all of a sudden there's some hairs in his chest, and they're all grey.
Fair enough. Right, okay, so we're going to switch gears, so we're going to take it to musicals now.
Oh, I like him.
So the next theory is based on Grease.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
so
not going to enjoy this one.
at the beginning of Grease, Summer Lovin', the song, there's a line that says, "She swam by me, she got a cramp." It then goes on to say, "I saved her life, she nearly drowned." Well, the theory poses that Sandy did indeed drown on the beach, and that the rest of the movie takes place in a coma dream. This could explain the elaborate song and dance numbers, and then the scene at the end when they're in the car and the car starts taking off, that's her dying, and that's her ascending into heaven at the end of it.
Yeah, I've heard that one before as well, and I like it.
I fucking love
It's
that, by the way.
like, I think the thing with Grease is that they're like, so what I said about Jar Jar, there's never even a hint of an edge to them. There actually is some quite kind of controversial themes and some pretty edgy stuff hinted at in Grease. So listen, it's a fun movie and stuff. There's 48-year-old teenagers and whatever else.
Just
like,
faster the young ones.
I know. But
It's just the teachers.
listen, it's a fantastic film, and I love that theory. I think that's like when we did the change of genre. You know how you said do this thing and then it wasn't that thing, and we did something else.
And then he done
Yeah.
4.
Aye, none of them were the same.
None of them made sense.
But I think Grease would be quite a good one. Imagine you redid Grease, and that was the angle that you did it from.
The fact that she's dead.
when
This
you-
is
when-
just
and
a
when you-
fever.
Aye, and she's in, and they actually show she's in the coma, and like Danny and whoever else is all around about her and whatever. Like, but she's actually having all these kind of like an episode, a feature length episode of Scrubs, maybe.
Cool. When you redo it, can it not be a musical?
Well, if you want,
That's strange.
I'll be on board with
Just
that.
folk dancing about to the music, singing.
That's fine. It'd be better.
you know, like
No,
musicals.
no Rama Lama
I
Dinger.
don't, man, I really struggle with musicals.
Why?
No musicals at all.
No musicals at all.
Why?
Is that the
Apart
French indie?
from the South Park movie.
What about Les Mis? Surely, fuck, you must love Les Mis.
I don't love Les Mis.
You enjoy it.
I've
by the way.
watched it.
You enjoy it.
It's fine. I like a good cry.
So you like musicals then? Some musicals.
I like
One
one
Well,
musical.
what is it about musicals that you don't like?
I think I cringe
Could
as
it
soon as
be that-
people start singing about what they're doing.
Is it the joy that it brings to people?
I'm not thinking about other people when I'm trying to enjoy a film. I'm not going to sit through a movie because I know other people enjoy this genre.
I
wasting my fucking time.
I don't understand. Right, so you love films, you like music, like you love music in films. What is it about musicals that you've written off that genre? Because some of the best films ever made, and some of the films that will hit you the hardest, are musicals.
You go
Like,
and see
what
Wicked
is it
when it
about
comes
that
out?
that puts you off?
Wicked's a great fucking musical.
Oh, Wicked's amazing,
I can't
man.
wait for
Amazing.
that film to come
I know. Although I was a bit disappointed with the did you see the stuff about the poster?
out. Aye, because she kicked off about it.
Aye, I mean, did she's come out though and said, listen, I should have probably spoke to my pals and took a beat before I just dived into footage, which is fair enough, but
We've all been there.
exactly, aye, but it was just silly. It was just
There was no point.
nonsense.
There was no need. There was absolutely no need for that.
Yeah, I think it was just a fan trying to like recreate the
Aye,
original poster,
fair.
thinking they were doing something nice, and
Aye,
then
done a really good job of it, and it was
I
just
thought it looked
nonsense.
I thought it was cool.
Aye, but so I think the film looks really good. The film's going to be good. Have you seen the musical?
Mate.
Have you ever been to a musical?
No.
You ever been outside?
Very
Outside of France.
Pantomimes, did you think?
Pantomime, but aye, the
Technically,
singing,
aye. It's like musicals, we
I
brother.
get forced to go to them as a kid, so I've been to musicals.
That's
Such
that is
Such a happy guy, man.
I know, man. Every kid in the world went to a pantomime buzzing, and Stefan's literally like
Back in
getting
the bus.
getting dragged. I know, like I don't
I
get
can't
it. I don't
explain
get it.
why I don't enjoy them. I just don't.
Did you like Great Showman?
No.
Okay.
I'm starting to think you don't have a soul.
Wow. Is that your real hair colour? Colour?
Carol?
Colour?
Can
Colour, yeah.
It's, I don't get
Cut
it.
that.
I don't
I
get
don't. I'm listen. I can't. All I can say is, people start. I'm sure there's some musicals do it better. The problem is I've seen too many musicals where people are just singing what they're doing, and as
That's
soon
all
as that
musicals, mate.
happens, I'll just roll my eyes and I can't sit through it. Like I feel like Something's crawling on my skin. It's horrible.
If you could
And I
turn
can't sit
something,
through it. So I've avoided musicals because of that film.
so if there's something that you love that you could turn into a musical that you could bear it, what would it be? Like feeling like
The Dark Knight the musical.
I cannot believe you
Avengers.
didn't say the Three Musketeers there.
What?
I can't believe you
because
don't
you
say
can't
that.
improve on perfection.
Well, true.
Just leave it alone.
This guy's favourite film's The Three Musketeers, and he's written off all musicals.
We've had two episodes.
You're on a
and I
movie
think we've mentioned
podcast.
that twice.
we've
You
mentioned
are
it
on a
on
movie podcast.
We've mentioned it on every
You are
episode.
on a movie podcast.
I can say that I don't particularly enjoy musicals. You don't
But-
like horror films?
To be fair, the Three
I didn't.
Musketeers
I
is-
sat and picked out 25 horror films I loved in that
You sat
episode.
and
I
talked
said I
about
don't
how-
love the
you sat
genre.
and talked about how terrible horror movies are.
Right.
And gave you reasons.
Right.
And gave you reasons for what I don't like about the genre, and then gave you examples where it subverts that and it's different.
That's fine, to be fair.
I don't like musicals because they sing stuff.
I feel like the Baron Zemo of this episode.
What was
I'm
that?
fucking
You're
picking
just
up
pulling the
Avengers.
puppets. that was my musical accent.
You pull that string. Right, okay, so how much weight are we giving Grease?
I like it.
Likeability.
Likeability. I really like it. I think it makes it dark and interesting. I'll give that a 9.
I gave it a 10.
There
I'll
you
be
go.
a 10 as well.
Yes.
The
There you
only way
go.
that movie could be improved is if one of them was dead all along.
Or there was no
Well,
musical.
Dying.
Well, not dead at the
Dying.
end. Dead at the end, sorry, I was...
Died at the end.
My mistake.
That was good. Right, okay, so we're going to switch to Marvel now. First of all, rest in peace to Mr. Stan Lee, absolute legend.
Yeah.
So the theory is that Stan Lee is the Watcher. So
Aye.
Stan Lee, during his time on this mortal coil, has appeared in almost every Marvel movie. He has posed as many different people: FedEx driver, bartender, security guard. The list goes on and on. However, in Guardians 2, he is an astronaut and he's in fact seen talking to Watchers. His line is, "Hey fellas, hey wait, you were supposed to be my lift home. How will I get out of here? Oh gee." I've got so many more stories to tell you. The theory goes that he is always the same person in every film in disguise and is indeed himself a Watcher.
Is that not been confirmed now?
I don't believe so. At the time of my research, it had not been
I feel
confirmed.
like it really should be.
I don't think it was that they confirmed the theory, but there was a thing that came out, and I think it was James Gunn, because if it was Guardians. Then he had one in Endgame when they go back.
It was in the first Guardians. He's talking to Howard the Duck.
Yeah,
And
no,
then-
but he's in Guardians. I'm trying to think when his last ones were. So he was in.
Was his last one though Endgame when he
Endgame.
drives past as like
in the
is it
60s.
Make Love Not War?
Yeah,
Was that his last one ever?
I think so.
it
I don't
was.
remember him being in another one. Was he in Spider-Man?
I feel he might have been in. But anyway, it was round about then. So I think Guardians is maybe his 4th or 5th last one. And then I think after he passed, James Gunn put on Twitter that I've read this fan theory and I'm going to make it
happen.
true. But I don't think it's been confirmed as canon.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I love it. Like, I think it's a nice way to actually.
I would like it to be true.
Aye,
I
just
think
to
it
pay
makes so
tribute
much
to him.
sense. It's
Yeah,
just it's such a nice, ties everything up in a wee bow and kind of rounds off all his cameos, that they weren't just stupid cameos.
Right.
There was an actual reason behind every single one of them.
Which movie was it that they changed the entire like opening bit when it's like that kind of comic book effect and it's just all him?
It was the first one when he passed away.
I can't remember which
'Cause
movie it
they-
was. I wish I knew that one.
Done the same with Black Panther 2.
Get in the comments, let us know.
It
Or
was
Black
all,
Panther 2
it
with
was-
Chadwick. That was
it all
amazing,
Chadwick
man.
Boseman. That was brilliant.
There's a really cool girl on TikTok. I commented on one of her videos the other day on the Mates Movies and Malts TikTok at Mates Movies and Malts, and she's been doing a watch along of the entire MCU, and she just does wee snippets of her emotional reaction. And on that one, it's literally the opening scene, and it's all Chadwick, and she's greeting her eyes out 2 seconds into the film, and that's exactly how I felt. I think I feel like it might have been, what was after Endgame? Far From Home. I think it was Far From Home.
I could never remember the order they came out in. You're the
The reason I think that's
Big
purely,
brain.
not just because of that, it's because Spider-Man was his thing. Like that was like obviously kind of always what he was like. If you remember, he used to do the voiceovers on the Spider-Man games and stuff,
Yeah.
and so
It would
I
make a lot
like.
of sense.
I feel like it was Far From
I
Home.
feel like I'm going to check that. as soon as-
I would need to check it, but I feel
Fact
like it
check.
was that, and it did the whole Force Stand thing and stuff like that.
Yeah, probably.
Can't
So-
believe you don't like musicals.
Move on.
What if we done a Stan Lee the musical?
That I would
Stan
watch
Lee
that. By
watch it.
how has Stan Lee's
Wait.
life not been made a film yet?
What's Stanley the musical? Just like him singing about how
Just
he
his
made
life.
Spider-Man?
Exactly.
His life,
Oh, okay.
and then
It's
snippets.
just him walking about the cities and he goes Spider-Man, Spider-Man, all the time.
I'd watch
I
it.
literally
Is
thought
it that?
Stanley had died this week, the way you said.
No,
No, no.
So
He,
it's
he,
2018 or
he
something.
passed away quite a while ago, but we
I
still
don't
like to
think it
pay.
matters where he
the pay
died.
homage-
You can
pay
always say
homage.
rest in peace.
Oh, he gave us so
He was
much.
in it.
Yeah.
He gave us so much.
He did.
Right, likability.
10.
10.
10.
That's a winner. That's the winner. Make Stanley a watcher.
Perfect.
Did you make that the last one on purpose?
No, there's more.
There's more?
There's
Oh,
more.
nice.
This would be a really fucking short.
No, there's more.
A
A million bonus points for that film, by the way.
Stan Lee's just came in.
Exactly, heard us talking. A million bonus points for that film. No, there's more.
That sounds like Christopher Walken.
No, it's My Cousin Vinny.
No. Well done, mate.
Vinny.
My cousin Vinny, it's Mona Lisa. Aunt May.
I genuinely thought you were doing a Christopher Walken impression there.
Oh no, I wasn't a million miles off, to be honest. Although I have heard that Christopher Walken and Marissa Tomei are almost interchangeable.
I heard that Christopher Walken loves this podcast.
He will.
That's
I think he will.
a great scene though.
Right, okay, so
That
the,
No, it's
Really
so
breaks it
good,
down.
man. So good. It's one of my favourite films.
the next theory, I'm not going to tell you what film it's from. I want you to try and guess.
Mm.
Oh no, that won't.
You're going to say all the characters' names and get it.
Fucked it.
Try it.
Oh, well,
Try and work round
Oh
it.
no, was it My Cousin Vinny? We've already said it.
It's Christopher Walken, My Cousin Vinny. Right, okay, so this. Right, okay. So this theory goes that when Elsa and Anna's mum and dad left Arendelle, her mum was pregnant.
It's Frozen.
Right, so that's not the theory. So when her mum and dad left Arendelle, their mum was pregnant. When the ship sank, they didn't die. They became shipwrecked. They managed to get to a jungle island.
I know this,
They
so I'm going to write
managed
my answer
to
down.
build a shelter. Mum then had the baby, and the baby was a boy. So there's a theory goes that who this boy was ties in with another film.
It's George of the Jungle.
It's not. You're so close, but Pedro has wrote the right answer
I know
down.
he wrote down the right answer.
So the theory is that the mum had the child. It was a boy. The parents were then killed by a leopard. The boy was then raised by gorillas, and he was named Tarzan. So to give this a bit more clout, Chris Buck, who was the director of Tarzan, was also the director of Frozen, and
that's pretty good.
You've come a long way
absolutely
since Rangers.
he has said that he really likes this theory. So the theory goes that Anna, Elsa, and Tarzan are all siblings.
I feel like that one has actually been confirmed. Or I've seen something online about that.
At time of research,
Maybe it was just the
there
Chris
no
Buck thing I've
confirmation.
seen as well.
Or
But
just him saying it, but no,
The fact that he likes it.
I like that.
I love it, although it's a grisly end for Elsa and Anna's mum and dad.
Well, we
Well,
thought
the old
that-
man
I know,
Rick
but-
died at sea.
I
I know, died at sea or ripped to shreds by a leopard. Like,
I feel
I'd
drowning's
probably
pretty
go
horrible.
leopard if I'm being honest. I can swim.
Really?
It would be a struggle.
I don't think. I think if we pulled all 5 million of our viewers, in 20 years, I think if we pulled all 8 of our viewers, every single one of them would say they'd rather drown than be mauled to death by a leopard.
Let us know. Would you rather die by a leopard,
Die by
or
leopard
die
or
by
drowning? Like, apparently-
matesmoviesmalts@gmail.com in the comments. Anybody can find us. TikTok. Phone me. Just get your feedback to us somehow. Grand, phone me.
Get on.
Likeability on that one.
I love it. I think I think of all of them, it's the one that makes the most sense. Like,
I think it's brilliant.
like the way that they
I think it
interconnected it.
also ties in with the whole Disney universe where everything is acknowledged as being in the
Yes.
same universe.
Absolutely.
There's always wee nods to other films.
You see like the
upcoming
Pizza
films
Planet
and stuff.
truck and other stuff. And
I love
it's great. I think it all lines up.
I'm buzzing to see Frozen 3 next year.
I like it. It all lines up. 5.
3 would
What
recommend.
was the first one? You gave a 7 to bloody Phoebe being a homeless nut job.
Lunatic.
I just like anything that just makes something that I like more.
You're dark, man. You are dark.
Just today.
You're
Last week
darker
was
than me.
Halloween. Although today's technically
Today
Halloween.
is Halloween. Happy Halloween, boys.
I
Just
thought on
continuity
a
for these.
future episode.
So, on to the next one then. Shrek. So, we all know that the Shrek universe is made up of lots of fairy tale stories and characters. However, one character's backstory we don't know much about is Donkey. So the only thing that we know about Donkey is that an old woman tried to steal him, and we've seen this character in all the movies, 8 mini movies, 3 TV specials, and a Broadway show, and that's all we really know about this guy. However, the theory goes that Donkey is actually one of the boys from Pinocchio who goes to Pleasure Island.
Yes.
Oh, I've not heard of this at all.
So you remember in Pinocchio when the boys all go to Pleasure
I know
Island,
you're
they,
talking about,
they smoke cigars, they drink, they gamble, and then at the end of it they turn into donkeys, and then they all get shipped out at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The theory goes that Donkey is one of the boys from Pinocchio who was turned into a donkey and was then forced into the
Yeah.
Shrek
Yeah.
universe. I think that is a great theory considering we don't know much about him, and
Also,
literally
Pinocchio exists in that
Pinocchio is
exact same
there.
universe.
I think that's the only thing that maybe pull it down a wee bit. It's Pinocchio because
Yeah.
He's not a real boy.
aye.
Well, then in the movie,
I'm a
he
real
does,
boy.
he does become a real boy for about
Well,
2
the
seconds.
the
and
theory
then
is
comes
that so in Pinocchio, his best friend, his best friend was a boy called Lampwick, and the theory is that Donkey is actually Lampwick from Pinocchio. But
Okay.
I think that's maybe a bit much. But I think there's a
Yeah,
lot more
dude,
weight behind the
thinking-
fact that he's just one of the boys from Pleasure Island,
Am I right
which
in
is such a
remembering?
fucking weird
That's
name for a
bad
place
name,
to send kids.
But
Epstein Island.
am I remembering right that the people that I'll just skip over that.
Please
Right.
cut that out.
Aye.
No, I don't, because I was going to come on to that, but that theory.
I'm going to come on at Epstein Island.
Of course, aye.
No.
What else would you do there?
Right, we'll fix this in post. No, right. Give it a minute.
So wait, that's up.
No, what I was going to ask was, it's been a long time since I've seen Pinocchio. Did they get away with that at the end? Is there any like repercussions for
No.
the people that did that,
No.
or did they just get to continue on? He's a real boy, but these people that traffic children into.
Oh yeah, no, he immediately forgets about them and moves on with his happy life.
They're not trafficking children, they're trafficking livestock, so there's not really much call for
They're
it.
kidnapping children,
Well, they'll
lost.
do you want to come to this island, smoke cigars, gamble, fight?
Yeah, sorry, is your ankle? They deserved it.
And for a penny.
Okay, fine. I just wanted to check. I couldn't remember the movie.
The thing that I think lends a bit of weight to it, and I'm sure the pod mother in post will be able to put up potentially a side by side. The donkeys in Pinocchio look really like Donkey, just from memory.
No, I don't want to be this guy, but I think all donkeys look alike.
We'll cut that out. We don't need that code.
I mean, donkey lives matter, but
Oh man, all donkeys look alike. That's genius, mate. That's genius. That's the joke of the pod so far, I would say. That's brilliant. But the other thing, the Epstein Island thing, I don't know because I didn't quite catch what you said, but have you seen that theory?
what?
About Pinocchio? And so there's the scene where it's the guy talking about taking the kids to Pleasure Island, and the whole way the character describes it and everything like that.
It's actually Epstein
And
Island.
it's apparently based on that whole kind of.
Surely Epstein Island's based on Pleasure Island and not the other way about.
Maybe, who knows? But
Well, Jeffrey Epstein probably.
he probably's got a fair bit of, well, he used to.
He did.
Ghislaine Maxwell might have a fair bit of an idea.
Himself.
I don't want to be in frame. I was talking about
The other thing that I loved, and a bit, I was going to say a less controversial, but it's definitely not. Do you remember the Family Guy joke about Pinocchio? With Geppetto?
Oh, when he bends over.
He's bending over and he's trying to get Pinocchio to lie.
Wow.
Oh, it's so
I wouldn't
good.
lie
Did
to
you
you.
steal that last week? And he's like, yes, Geppetto, I did. He's like, oh, you don't have to tell the truth.
It's like, I wouldn't lie to you. You could try.
You could try.
See, just when you mentioned that, I was watching a Tom Segura special last week. I don't know if you ever watched it.
I've seen
Tom
bits and
Segura.
pieces, yeah, man.
So there's like Two Bears, One Cave with Bert the Machine. I can't remember the guy's last name, but
Aye.
he's-
Kreischer.
Aye, he's special. He made a joke. He was like, I was in the shower and my kid wanted to come in the shower with me and stuff, and he's like, my best advice for having a shower with a toddler is like, make sure it's your toddler. And then he went on to say, like, his wee boy says to him, we might need to cut this out, I don't know, but his wee boy says to him, like, Daddy, how come you've got a big penis and I've got a little penis? And he says, that's because mine is hard. I was fucking.
no, that's not getting kept at all.
That's not my joke. It's
Yeah,
Tom
you
Segura's
got
joke.
It doesn't matter.
Aye,
I
you've got
was
to keep that in.
Fucking rolling about the floor, killing myself.
Aye, you've got to keep that in, man.
Very, very
You've got to keep that in.
Right, anyway, back to Pinocchio. Donkey, sorry. Likability.
I mean, it took us down an unexpected
We went down a rabbit
cul-de-sac
hole.
there, aye. I like it. I think, again, it's one that really feels like it makes narrative sense. I'll give it an 8.
An 8.
I want to give it a 7 just because of the whole thing of they spend time with Pinocchio and Pinocchio doesn't recognise him and they don't ever address
Maybe
that.
it's the Pinocchio multiverse. It's
I know
Pinocchio,
what-
but it's not the same
The
Pinocchio.
multiverse doesn't make anything better.
The
So
Pinocchioverse.
no, still a 7.
Aye.
The
fair enough.
multiverse doesn't make anything better. Next.
Okay, so the penultimate theory, gentlemen, is
Right.
from The Office. I'm sure you can probably guess where this one's going.
It's going to be the US office, yes.
Yes, the US office, not the Australian one, which is
Dross.
rave reviews. The theory goes that Toby was a Scranton Strangler all along. He fits the profile of a serial killer. He would have been described as mild-mannered, kept himself to himself. He went through a traumatic breakup, saw less and less of his daughter. He also suffers constant abuse from his boss on a daily basis. These could be classed as stressors or a breaking point that would lead him to killing people. During the car chase with the police, they are chasing a green car. That green car is also saw in the car park of Dunder Mifflin. Where am I up to?
The Office.
So
Dunder Mifflin.
the car chase, it's the same green car that was also seen in the car park. The guys run from the conference room during that time when they're watching it, so they're watching it on, I believe it's Oscar's computer, and then they run to the conference room. Everybody's there. Toby's not in any of the shots. He's not in any of the scenes at all. He's also unable to enter a church at the christening of Cece, stating that he has history with the big man. Is this true, or is he just covering for the guilt that he feels for framing someone for his crimes? He goes to see George Howard Scrub in prison towards the end, and he's then attacked. So is he attacked because he finds out that he was one of the jurors that put him to jail, or did he actually confess that he is the actual Scranton Strangler, and that's why George Howard Scrub attacked him?
I think it's that good, and it does marry up that perfectly.
Yeah.
That if Michael Schur and Dan Goor and whoever else had actually written that episode, because obviously millions of writers, I think you could believe that was put together on purpose.
I have no issue believing that Toby is the Scranton Strangler.
Also, though, at one point a theory that it might have been Creed.
I think so, because there's a part where there's a Halloween episode and he turns up and he's covered in blood, and he says, "Oh, it's Halloween." But that's a coincidence, or that something along those lines.
Do you know, I know it's a bit of an aside, but my favourite ever bit with Creed is when they're all going on the bus to the day trip and he's dogged it off work and he steps foot on the bus and he's like to the driver, "Oh, I'm playing a little hooky for work," and then he turns around and it's all his colleagues.
See, my favourite moment of him is the bit where I can't remember what it is, they're getting shown, but it's to get told, is it strike, scream, run?
Aye.
And he smacks
It's not Meredith, is it?
I think it is Meredith, but he like slaps her across the back of the head and he goes like, "Ah!"
It's Ball Barry. When he becomes a manager for a short period of time, he's like, "Ball Barry, what does the first B stand
Oh
for?"
man. Also right early on when they're trying to decide who it is, and it's right out of the UK one actually, but they're trying to decide who to sack, and he just goes like that, "Sack him." Like he just names the guy and drops him in. It's so good, man.
Devon.
He sacked Devon. Devon's terrible.
Devon. And then Dwight brings him back in the last season.
That's right.
Tremendous.
So good.
So likability on Toby being the Scranton Strangler?
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
15 out of 10. 100%.
I like it.
Ideal. Right, okay, so we're now on to the last theory that I've got for you. This is probably my favourite, and I think the film should now be remade based on this. So it's the Blair Witch Project. You seen it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Both seen it? All good? Excellent. So the theory poses that there never was a Blair Witch. It was actually an elaborate ruse for Mike and Josh to commit a murder. As part of the movie's release, they also created an online diary for Heather. That was kind of side, that was part of the branding, the merchandise. They'd done this kind of online journal. In it, she is constantly criticised by Josh, and the boys actually gang up on her during the film. It's believed that the boys went out to the woods beforehand and set up the rock formations and the stick figures so that the group could accidentally stumble upon them. It's also said that Mike's work as a sound engineer accounts for all the creepy sounds that they hear at night. They say that he goes out into the woods beforehand and sets up microphones for them to hear this stuff at night time. The theory is further fueled when the map goes missing. Neither of the guys is freaked out, doesn't really bother, they don't seem fazed by it at all. In the film, Mike later admits to throwing the map away, and that the theory claims that the movie's climax isn't the group being attacked by a witch, it's actually the boys attacking Heather. It's just an elaborate murder. Josh breaks away from the group as they get close to the witch's house. This would allow him the chance to come round the other side, sneak in. Mike leads Heather to the house, brings her upstairs. He's running ahead of her while she's coming through and coming upstairs as well. By the time she gets to the top of the stairs, he is in the corner, frozen, and then this would give the other one time to come behind her and attack her and kill her. So it's not a haunting or a supernatural film, it's actually a big snuff film.
Fuck, man.
I think one of the things that leads a lot of weight to it, when you watch a horror film, you're watching these kind of films, you always see a spectre, you see an image, you see a figure of something. In the Blair Witch Project, you do not see anything at all. It's only the rock formations, the stick figures, and the noises. There is no apparition.
For me, with the Blair Witch Project, which a minute ago I almost called the Blair Hill Project. So the Blair Hill Project, the Blair Witch Project, I think is potentially the best marketed film in history. Right, it changed everything to do with marketing for cinema and stuff like that. It was a proper guerrilla marketing approach. It was 1998, 99 it came out.
POV films as well, wasn't it?
Oh, it was like found footage. The way it was genius the way they done it. Like, 'cause they actually had people, and I remember it quite clear. I was about 12, 13 when it was happening.
Working on it clearly.
And exactly. And I remember how much people were. I mean, is this real? Is this a documentary or whatever else? Right?
They almost marketed it.
They did.
To let you believe that. They never out said it, but they let you believe.
They found this footage.
100%. And then when you watched it, I was more nervous and more frightened watching it about watching it than I was when I watched it. When I watched it, I was like, all right. Like, I found it very, very meh, and I don't think it's a shock that none of us even thought to mention it in the Halloween episode, right?
Because as an actual movie itself,
it's shit.
It's not great.
It's alright.
The Family Guy joke about it is brilliant when Brian is working as a sightseeing dog and he's trying to explain the Blair Witch Project.
A sightseeing dog?
Sightseeing.
Is that just because round like the Tower of London and stuff?
No.
Hop on, hop off.
he's on the city bus.
Shit.
Sight dog.
Yeah,
a seeing eye dog, a guide dog, I think we call it in this country.
Yeah, so a guide dog. So he's worked as a guide
That's
dog,
how you see him,
and he goes to the cinema with a blind person, and they're watching the Blair Witch Project, and it's him just going, look, nothing's happening. Something about a map. It's like, nothing's happening.
Woods.
It's over. A lot of people look pissed.
If you
now think of it as a snuff film,
It's better.
well, that's what I was going to say. Is like,
it's a snuff film now.
somebody needs to make that film.
Yeah.
But the thing that worries me about that fan theory is that somebody has spent time thinking, right, well, hold on a minute. If I found a ghost story that good, I could very easily use it as a cover. That's what who was that? Somebody on Reddit? I think we need to report this guy.
I'm pretty sure it was a Reddit one that I found on.
You're getting reported, whatever your name is.
None of these are original theories from me or from Mates, Movies and Malts. These were all cultivated online.
I thought you came up with all of these just
for this. Mate.
If you'd have came up with that, you're darker than Stefan. Because that's
really grim.
Wow.
That like set me.
I agree.
Some future projects I'm working on.
I think that goes beyond fan theory. I think that's actually just a better story.
That's an improvement on the movie that came out. Yeah,
much better film.
I would have liked that.
Absolutely.
That's my favourite one that I found, and that's why I left that one until last. For me, that is a fucking 20 out of 10 for likability.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's really good.
Love it.
Just changes everything about it, but like Pete said, makes it better.
Yeah, 100% makes it better. Much
Right.
better film.
Cool. So is that the last one?
Aye, that's the last one for me, mate. That's all I've got.
I really
enjoyed that.
Thanks.
I really thought you were going to bring up the one about Get Out and being John Malkovich being part of the same universe.
So it
I've not heard that.
Have you not?
No.
Oh, it's very good. And Jordan Peele actually talked about it in an interview. I can't remember who it was with, but you can find it, and it's him answering questions about like fan theories, and that's one of them. And he really likes this one. He was aware of it before, and it's because. This is going to kill me. I'm going to get the actress's name wrong. Is it Catherine Keener?
Right, it's Catherine Keener now.
Right, so Catherine Keener,
She's in.
Yeah, so she's in both movies.
Right.
So that's like a bit of a tenuous line, but the whole thing is they're both kind of like going into someone's mind, taking control. What was it? I think they called it the mind control universe. I think they did that just so it could be MCU, just as a bit of a joke.
Okay.
But
The
yeah,
Malkovich universe.
If you watch Jordan Peele talk about it, he really enjoyed it. So he, in his head, it's a real thing that they are connected. I just thought you would bring that one up.
It's one of the ones I reviewed, and it's not one of the ones I put on. I thought I would try and break away from the kind of too many horror films in it, and I preferred the Blair Witch one over the Get Out one, which is why it didn't make my list. That was okay.
I actually like that one as well. If I was giving that a score, I'd give that a solid 8. Being John Malkovich was a weird film, man, but it was good. Really good film.
John Cusack, a role that you wouldn't expect him in as well. I thought he was good.
John Cusack's a weird one for me. Like, I weirdly like him and never ever think about him.
I forget he exists sometimes until I see his sister.
I love John Cusack.
I'll always love him for High Fidelity.
Great film.
John Cusack.
I really liked him in what was it?
Gross Point Blank.
Yeah. I loved that film. I thought that was
the other one was
so much I forgot the name of it.
The Boombox. What the hell was that called?
The rom-com one.
What the hell was that called? John Hughes.
Yeah, no, it was a massive one.
Everyone stop talking.
That's a really shite podcast, that, by the way. Everybody stop talking.
Remember that?
Say anything.
That's what it is.
Everybody stop talking and then say anything.
For some reason, I was trying to think of it, and for some reason it was like "Call Me by Your Name." I was like, "That's definitely not."
But see, genuinely, that
fucking drunk are we the night, by the way?
I know.
This is going off the rails really quick.
That couldn't have been more opposite. Like, you were trying to remember there's something called "Say Anything," and in order to remember that, you said "Don't say anything."
But you didn't remember it.
Never came back to me.
No, but then I remembered it because we didn't say anything. Any fan theories that you can think of that we haven't mentioned off the top of your head or anything like that? I really enjoyed the fan theory. I do like a fan theory. I think the thing about it is that for the most part, the people that come up with this shit are the same as us.
They're
like people that are just
obsessed with these movies.
Well, they're more creative, I would say, potentially, right? But these are the guys that literally are digging into it so much, and they're like they come up with ideas that I think are brilliant. The one idea that I ever come up with, and it wasn't so much a fan theory but a way to make Infinity War better, was the whole thing about the Hulk coming out, the Hulkbuster, the way that could have been done. But I love when people actually it was more of a gentle but infuriated suggestion. But no, I think when people come up with this stuff, it's really, really interesting how they flesh it out, and then people get behind it, and Reddit's a great source of stuff like that, isn't it? It's so good, man.
I do love when these things, so someone just takes the time to put it together. Do you know that way when it works its way to the original creator of like that thing, and they get to discuss it as well? I always think
it's so cool, man.
It's very rewarding for the first person that ever came up with that idea.
I've got a new one. What if Phoebe imagined it all?
Everything.
All those movies.
Made up the MCU. So what I was going to say, so I presented you with 8 different theories tonight. Out of the 8 I've presented, what's your favourite one?
Darth Jar Jar.
Mate, I will chuck you out of my house.
Jar Jar Binks.
So what were the last? So give me a rundown of it. It's not Phoebe.
So top to bottom. So we had Friends, we had Grease, we had Star Wars, we had Stan Lee, we had Frozen, we had Shrek, we had The Office, and we had The Blair Witch Project.
I think the Frozen and Tarzan one is the best. I think that makes the most narrative sense. My favourite would be Stan Lee, but for like attachment reasons. I mean, for
I feel like the Office one makes the most narrative sense because I feel like they've led into that one.
But I think the Office one.
I think that's by design, though. It's just never actually confirmed.
But if I have to say what my actual favourite is, I think it's the Blair Witch Project one. Just you kind of talked me into it, to be honest. Just with how it makes it just a much better film. Because it's been a long time since I've watched that, because I'm fairly certain I've only ever watched it once, because I wouldn't go back and watch it again. I'll
be honest, like, because often we've. So when you suggested apparently I've got to say every word twice in a row now, by the way. You suggested
Frankie 2 times.
I know. Remember him? That was good. When you suggested doing the pod and we had a good old blather about it and stuff like that, and at some point we'll ask you why you done it, right? But we also said it would also be cool to sit down at some point and talk about ideas that we'd had for films and stories, and we were talking about one of yours yesterday, right? I think that the Blair Hill project. I think I'm pissed. The Blair Hill project one has got to be.
Witch?
No, I done it on purpose.
Okay.
The Blair Witch project one. If I had been the person that had come up with it, I'd be raging now, because I'd be thinking I could have just done that and made that a film. Do you know what I mean? But also, if I was involved in any way in the Blair Witch project, I'm going to really struggle with that. If I was involved in that in any way, I would now rethink about doing like a remake of it, but that being the angle.
I think
it's
so cool, man.
Because
it's not like it would be.
It's not like it would be expensive.
No. It's just literally you would just need to film the week before.
I'm not going to be expensive.
You'd film it for the week before and then film the film.
I'm actually a wee bit annoyed that it's not been done already.
Well, guess what we're doing this weekend?
I had a wee idea yesterday, guys, when we were talking about different bits and pieces, and I suppose it's just a very brief little talking point we could finish up on. I was thinking about, there's two parts to this. I want you to give me some examples of films that completely changed your mind on an actor or an actress, right? Like, so either took them from you hating them to you liking them, or thinking of them as one type of actor to being another type of actor, like just changing your opinion or your understanding of who they are and stuff like that. I'll give you a couple of examples. For me, most obvious one, I've spoken to you about this before, was Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight. Not because I hadn't recognised that was me that was wrong. I just thought he was pretty boy doing rom-coms, whatever else. I was very much not pleased at him being cast as the Joker, and I was very excited about The Dark Knight, and for me it's a top 5 performance all time, and made me realise that this guy was an all-timer. A couple of other examples where, for me, I used to hate Colin Firth. I couldn't stand him.
Really?
It was Bridget Jones' Diary. For me, it was just Diet Hugh Grant.
Can we guess what the movie is?
Yes, but there's almost two with him, right? But there's almost two, but there's one that I'd like to hear your guess.
Alright, I actually wish I hadn't said anything now because I can't remember what it was called.
Both of the films have the same word.
The one with Taron Egerton.
Yes, Kingsman.
Oh god, that was terrible. I couldn't remember
Golden
that
Circle.
Totally changed my opinion of him.
Yeah.
Because he's brilliant. Also, they've just said that there's no plans for future Kingsman movies, and I'm gutted because this has weirdly happened with Mark Miller twice, or a couple of times now, because Kick-Ass 1, brilliant. Kick-Ass 2, loved it, died. Kingsman 1, Kingsman 2, then they done the one set back and just died. It's like his universe has died after 2 years.
Also the TV show as well about the superheroes.
What was that called again?
I can't remember, it was on Netflix. They only done one season and it got cancelled. It was
they done well as well, I thought.
It was what was his name? He was married to Fergie. He was in like the Transformers films. He was the army guy. I can't remember his name.
That's going to drive me nuts.
What the hell was this show?
So it was a superhero TV show.
That Mark Miller done about 4 or 5 years ago on Netflix.
It only got one season on it. I can't remember the name of it, but I really enjoyed it.
With Josh Duhamel, was it?
Yeah,
Josh Duhamel, yeah.
Josh Duhamel.
Sorry, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Sorry, Josh Duhamel.
Josh Duhamel.
I'm just saying it as it's spelled. No, and it's like there's the future and past.
They're a family, so it goes to how they found the powers and
I can't remember what that was called.
I really liked it.
I watched episode 1, I couldn't get it.
Oh, that's why it got cancelled.
So films that have changed. The other one for me was In Bruges with Colin Farrell.
Yeah,
And genuinely, that's probably the biggest extreme example, because now I would go out my way to watch Colin Farrell's whatever projects he's in.
I went out my way to watch him do the Belfast Marathon last week. Not even
your way all the way to Belfast.
But I actually took time out of my day to watch a news article on him running the Belfast Marathon.
I'm trying to think about it. Was Alexander like right before that as well?
No. Alexander was about 2004, and then In Bruges was 2008.
Right, okay. So did they have a few like attempts at a comeback before?
I think Alexander obviously really hit him hard, and then because
I've seen him talk about
earlier than that he'd done Phone Booth, which was brilliant.
Yeah, that's a good.
He had done. Do you remember The Recruit with Al Pacino, which I liked? I thought it was quite
Sing in
good.
the Rain, I Feel No Pain.
I would never have remembered that in a million years, by the way.
Feel No Pain.
But I feel like
then he changes his answer.
I feel like he didn't have too much between them. He might probably well have had a couple of things that we can't think of, but he was just alright. He's this pretty boy. Done an episode of Scrubs. He's a party boy and whatever else, and I think people were guilty of kind of seen like he was more a tabloid jockey than a serious actor. Then he done In Bruges, and he was the best thing in Bruges with Brendan Gleeson and Ralph Fiennes, and then off the back of that, Seven Psychopaths. Banshees of Inisherin, which he's masterful in. I think he's a phenomenal actor, and that was the thing that changed it for me.
So two actors came to mind for me. One was Colin Farrell for that exact same reason, and
they're both called Colin, I've just realised.
The other one was Jake Gyllenhaal. So up until I seen Prisoners, I was kind of Jake Gyllenhaal. I'd done Prince of Persia and stuff, and a few other bits and bobs I wasn't really that interested in. And then I saw Prisoners, and that was a fucking amazing film. Tremendous. Now being a parent, I can totally understand where these Hugh Jackman's coming from.
I have heard that Hugh Jackman's amazing in that as well.
He is so good.
I've not watched it yet.
I don't think that would have been a surprise to anyone how good Hugh Jackman was in it, but how
It's such a
Jake
good
Gyllenhaal
film.
in that.
I think Hugh
brilliant.
Jackman-
He plays the cop in it and stuff, and he's fucking outstanding in it.
Because my answer was also going to be Jake Gyllenhaal, but it was for Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler's brilliant.
Because that is such an amazing film. He is so unsettling all the time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And it really is, and it's such a weird film as well when you're like watching it, because I feel like anytime you try and watch a movie and you're shown, okay, here's your protagonist, here's the person you're going to follow, you automatically assume, okay, this is the person whose side I'm going to be on, I'm going to see things from their perspective, they're the hero of this story. It's very, very quick that you realise, okay, this is not someone that you're supposed to like, but just how fucking much he just doesn't care about people, does not give a shit about anyone. He just wants to be successful at anyone
Any
else's cost.
Aye.
He does not care. He doesn't. He's such a sociopath. He doesn't see people as people. The bit where he's having he's having dinner in the restaurant with, I can't remember the actress's name. That's going to annoy me. But he does the whole thing, and she's trying to say to someone, you can't just buy people.
Yeah.
They're not a
And
commodity.
then he makes the whole comment of,
I can't remember who it was either.
a friend is like the gift you give yourself type thing, and it's such a creepy line considering how he's treating her and stuff
how he
like
makes
that.
his money.
But yeah, so I just
6 days does not a week make.
but he is fantastic. I thought.
He is brilliant in that. I've never watched Prisoners yet,
Yeah,
and I need to, and I know I need to.
It's
The other one Jake Gyllenhaal film that I love, but again, I think he just falls way down the radar on it because of who else is in the film, is Zodiac. And again, he's brilliant in it. But it's a tremendous film, Zodiac, right? But I need to watch Prisoners because I am currently still of the opinion that I think Jake Gyllenhaal's overrated.
Watch Prisoners.
I think he's fine.
Prisoners, it's so good.
I think he's fine.
Do you know who deserves a shout out just for how hard he worked for this type of like change in his career? Matthew McConaughey. I didn't see Lincoln Lawyer. I know that is like the official
good, by the way.
switch, but I saw True Detective, and that was such a far cry from like all the rom-com stuff.
But
I'd
by
seen
that point,
before.
he'd done a few bits before True Detective.
I hadn't seen any of them.
No.
Yeah, so that was the first thing you've seen since
the
then.
first one I saw was True Detective season 1,
Yeah.
and because of that, I went back and watched Dallas Buyers Club afterwards, and I know that came before True
That film,
Detective.
man.
I didn't see it at the time that it came
I
out.
think they came out the same year.
Did they come out the same
Yeah,
year?
I think they were 2013.
I just know I watched True Detective season 1, and I thought,
Wow.
fucking hell, Matthew McConaughey can act. He's so good in that. And then you go back and watch him in Dallas Buyers Club. He's amazing in that. It's heartbreaking, that whole fucking movie.
Dallas Buyers Club is an interesting one because it was 2013, right? Because it was everybody talks about Leonardo DiCaprio with Oscars and stuff, right? They eventually got it for The Revenant. That was the year of the Wolf of the Wall Street. The Wolf of the Wall Street.
The Wolf of
The Wolf of the Wall Street. And again, and listen, that's one of the top, I would say, top 5 performances of all time that didn't win an Oscar, right? Other actors who have gotten them eventually for roles almost because they were owed them. Al Pacino got it for Scent of a Woman, didn't get it for any of the Godfathers, didn't get it for Scarface, didn't get it for Injustice for All, didn't get it for Serpico. All of these things in which he was, and for me, he's the best actor of all time. And then eventually gets it for Scent of a Woman, right? The same kind of thing happened with Leo, but Wolf of Wall Street, for me, is his best performance. But Matthew McConaughey was better.
Yeah.
In Dallas Buyers Club, he is astonishing.
I think if Dallas Buyers Club hadn't come out the same year, it would have been his year.
But the funny thing, I mean, like, if you think about the level of films, I mean, I would rewatch The Wolf of Wall Street 100 times before I would watch Dallas Buyers Club again.
Yeah.
But just for the performance versus performance, and I think that it gets forgotten about. Matthew McConaughey in that is as good as I think an actor can be.
And
Yeah,
Jared Leto was up there in that as well. He
Yeah,
deservedly won
brilliant.
that.
As well.
Brilliant.
Deservedly won that Oscar that year.
Aye,
but
he got for supporting that.
Yeah,
he did. Aye, they both got it, aye.
He got it for Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, obviously Matthew McConaughey was briefly in Wolf of Wall Street and gave us that bit.
That
But
was all I'd loved as well, by the way.
I know, but the fact, and you see how skinny he is as well in it, because obviously he's been used to being built. McConaughey's a great shout.
I just wanted to throw that out there because if anyone has ever seen the I think it's an interview or a podcast appearance or something where he's talking about when he decided he was done with the rom-coms.
We spoke about it previously, didn't we?
Yeah, and they kept throwing him like all these
10
scripts
million,
and trying to give
15
him more and
million.
more money and stuff
Do you
like that.
know
He just
something?
kept knocking it back.
He's going to get a second mention tonight But
Is he?
Al Thompson
Right.
shouted me over the day, and he
I was
says,
going to say, what film?
mate, I've worked out what film it was that McConaughey knocked back, the rom-com that he knocked back for the stupid
okay.
money, because it was the rom-com that year that had the biggest budget and it still came out, and I fucking cannot remember the name of the film that he told me. Al, if you're
no,
watching,
So it must have
comment the
been...
name of the
Comment
film
the-
that
comment the video,
you
please,
believe that
man.
you
No,
found it
don't
to
comment,
be.
I need to figure it out.
So he actually showed me a pen and paper on a pad that he'd worked out what this film was.
You've got the time it takes
It takes for him to
edit-
comment.
edit this
Right,
video
okay.
and
Edit
release it.
I'm going to work it out. Right, okay, that's my challenge.
Yeah, that's
challenge
gonna be
accepted. And just final bit to finish off.
Well, you can't really finish off because I've got like one extra bit that I need to do.
Oh, brilliant.
The batter.
I'm looking forward to it. We also haven't even touched on whiskey yet tonight, by the way, and we're pure drinking. I will sort the whiskies while you think of an answer to this question. So there's a second part to that. So we've talked about the film that changed your opinion of an actor.
Yeah.
If you could pick an actor or actress out there just now and put them into something they've never done before, right? Another genre, another type of film, make Meryl Streep, Wonder Woman, or whatever it is you could do. Pick an actor, pick a genre, and explain.
So I don't even have to so I can pick the exact role I want them to do. It doesn't have to necessarily just be.
No, well,
this person, put them in a
you
horror.
can if you want, but don't just go, I want this guy to play Superman because he looks like Superman.
Ah, right, okay.
You know what I mean?
I've just took my socks off.
As you do. What do you guys think? The whiskey of the week, guys. We came into this episode not knowing what we were planning. So that you guys are aware, what we have been drinking tonight is rum, and so my tenuous link for this week was a rum cask whiskey.
Oh,
So we've got a whiskey, and obviously, listen, you guys like rum, right?
I love rum.
I love
So
rum.
what I'll be interested when I pour
some rum.
these.
it's cash called that.
I would be interested to see if you guys can get any sort of hint of rum from it, because what they've done is they've taken the whiskey and they've then spent time in barrels that had previously aged rum. Right, and this is so they do this in whiskey often. You get a bourbon finish and it's been finished in bourbon casks, sherry finish, sherry casks.
Okay.
Rum is now becoming a really big thing in whiskey.
Can I tell you a secret?
I would love you to tell me a
It's
secret.
not really a secret, but I've just bought us a bottle of Jura rum cask to celebrate at Christmas time.
Oh,
There you go.
good stuff.
It's how much we like rum, but
There you go.
that will feature on a future episode. But I bought
Happy days. That is going to find its way into the infinity bottle, I would guess.
Nice.
So while I'm pouring, guys, pick an actor that you would put in another genre, and you just think they would smash it.
So I've kind of been thinking about it. I've come up with one. It's not necessarily a genre that's outside this actor's kind of remit, but one that I would love to recast is Evan Peters, and I would love to be the Riddler in the new Batman film.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I know he does all the horror, he does all that sort of stuff,
Sorry,
thriller
help,
stuff and
help
stuff
me
like
out.
that
Can
as
I just
well.
double check? Evan Peters, he was Quicksilver.
American
Quicksilver,
Horror
aye,
Story,
American Horror
yeah.
Cool, just I want to make sure I had the right
Yeah,
person.
so
Yeah.
I would love to have seen him play. I know he plays dark roles all the time, and it's really fucking affected him and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I would love to have seen him in the MCU.
Cool.
Nope, the DCU.
The DC. I was gonna say.
So fucking drunk, man.
Well, no, I don't think the Batman exists in that thing. I think it's just its own thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
it's
it's
still like.
better for it.
It's now, what do they call it now? It's the
EU?
DC. No, that was the previous
Yeah,
version of the MCU. Now they're doing the DCU under James Gunn, and the Matt Reeves stuff, the Joker films are all part of. I think is it Legends? Is it DC Legends or something like that?
Legends, aye.
Something like that.
Who knows?
But it's just the kind of one of the things I've been thinking about. Do you know who I would also love to have seen in a comedy film? It's Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy,
Oh,
I think he'd be really good at
I
comedy.
know he was in Hook and stuff, and Hook's very kind of
Yeah,
comic-y
yeah.
and stuff.
It's not
but
the same though.
as
is
an
it?
Who is he in Hook?
you kidding on?
Jeremy Irons?
Captain Hook.
Dustin Hoffman.
Oh fuck! Cut that! Cut that!
Don't cut that!
No, I do.
Definitely not.
I'm trying to think if Jeremy Irons has ever been in anything that's close to a comedy.
I'm sure he has been.
He has like loads of funny lines in
Die Hard 3.
In Die Hard 3. But I'm just trying to think, was he ever in like
I
an...
don't think he was in an out-and-out comedy, but I would love to have seen him in an out-and-out
Yeah,
comedy.
just try.
See the way that
I feel like he was in a couple of rom-coms in
See the way
the
we got Chris Hemsworth in Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
and we didn't
Very
know
true.
what was going to happen, and he fucking smashed it. I think Jeremy Irons could have done that at his time as well. I can't believe I just get Dustin Hoffman and Jeremy Irons mixed up.
I mean, it could have been worse.
I mean, they're practically identical.
In every way.
That's Bob Hoskins.
Which glass is whose?
This is mine.
I'm Chewy.
Chew and you're daft.
You're tasty.
I'm
Pod mother? A dram?
Right, whiskey time.
Whiskey time.
Whiskey time.
They used to say it was Chico time.
Hang on. Is this a sitting whiskey?
I can't wait till
Never
whatever
above
episode
you,
we do.
never below you, but always by your side.
Oh fuck, are we all holding these in our right hand?
Yep.
Right, no.
Yeah.
Alright, okay, we're going to need to pour other ones so we can explore the
Well,
whiskey.
I'm going to smell. I will down it.
We could have smelt it before.
How's it taste? Rummy?
Whiskey.
Definitely got rum notes.
Aye. Rum and whiskey notes.
That's lovely.
That was like when Donald Duck gets like hit.
I always think it's like a boy for the Gungans.
I don't want to be.
That's Lost Nass.
That's really nice.
Ooh,
Yeah,
wow.
I've not tasted it yet. I've only smelled it, but it smells very different from the ones that we've had previously. I don't
Massively.
know why.
Because it's
Right, so have a taste and then we'll down it because we've got your right hand down it. But have a taste.
Have a
You
taste
just went for
first?
it. You want to smell that one?
I can still smell this.
Can you?
Can't smell my name. I can smell
Nice.
this.
Now just get glass notes.
That's really nice.
I think that's lovely.
Mm.
It's, see, to be honest, so again, obviously, like being the whiskey fan of the group, on the nose, I feel like that's very, very mild. Well, I don't really smell too much. Like, so when you guys sometimes you'll smell it and you go,
I
wow.
don't have a chaser. I don't have anything to drink after this.
Cool, that's all I like.
I know. As he takes it, I don't have any to drink except this drink.
I've just had to take the dregs of that
Such a
can.
fucking liar.
Here's have some of that one.
That's nice, man. I like that.
Right.
Have some of that one. Right, I better down this. Oh god, that hit me there when I drowned it.
Aye.
Sorry?
Drowned it.
Yeah.
Yep, you heard it. I said it.
Yep.
That was actually quite nice.
I like that. Like, again, it's pretty
I
inoffensive to be
wish I
totally honest.
hadn't downed it with hand.
We're getting some
These are
tasting notes and stuff.
Tasting notes.
Oh, okay, cool.
I got quite a lot of sweetness off of that.
Sweetness. Could you be specific in the type of sweetness?
Probably burnt sugar, molasses.
Okay.
I struggled to place anything, but it smelled much nicer than the ones that we've had previously. I don't know if I would say it was a particularly sweet smell, but there was just something else to it.
I found it quite flat on the nose. Like, I didn't think there was too much to it. It was like, right, okay, like not a million miles different from maybe a Bell's, but
Whoa.
I know. But on the taste, I thought it was lovely.
I think if I hadn't downed it, my first sip of it was quite nice. If I hadn't downed it, I think I would have enjoyed it more.
So I didn't get a first sip, I just...
No, you just wolfed
nicked
it.
Yeah.
Do you-
Obeyed the rules.
Treated it.
Can you guys bring to mind, based on the fact that we know it's a rum cask finish, can you feel anything rummy about it?
I do get a rummy taste off it. I get the kind of... When I'm saying sweetness, it's almost like a dark spice rum where you're getting that kind of vanilla. It does taste more like a spice rum, maybe like a rum bouillon rum, which is the one that's in the brown bottle.
Oh, that's nice stuff,
kind
that,
of that's
Yeah,
what
I would
I'm
say it's a
getting
wee
from
bit
it.
further away than the rums that we've been drinking.
I could
so
drink it
far
with a cola
today.
and hang,
Right.
see if you put that in a cola and tell me it was a rum and coke, I'd have believed you.
Potentially,
Yeah,
aye.
100%.
Potentially, aye. So the tasting notes, apparently on the nose, what you should be getting is tropical fruits, green apples, citrus, and caramelised banana. I thought it was quite mild.
Didn't
On the
smell
taste,
any of that.
on the taste though, Jordan, you kind of been pretty close here. Buttery pastry, which I can kind of see, and peach, fresh vanilla,
Yeah.
Hey.
delicate cinnamon.
Cinnamon's
And as soon as I've read cinnamon, I can taste cinnamon now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking about it.
Yeah.
And the finished tropical fruits linger with a soft caramel finish.
Do you have to?
I think you were quite close on that.
Thank you.
Aye.
I think that we're now, what are we, 6 whiskies in?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 I'm sure.
Is it 6, 5, 6 whiskies? And I think you're starting to pick bits and pieces
Yeah.
up.
If you're watching this, what, 3 in?
Aye,
I would
well,
say
6 whiskies for just 3 episodes.
that falls into second place behind Green Spot for me.
Wow, there you go, do you want another one?
Absolutely.
I feel like I might make myself look a wee bit stupid just now. Has Scarlett Johansson ever been in a horror movie?
Well, I can think
I
of.
don't think so.
I really, really like Scarlett Johansson. I think she's incredibly talented. One of the
Love it.
best
Love it.
actresses going. I can't talk anymore either, I'm too drunk. I think she's really, really good, and I would like to see her in. Maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be like final girl territory of like horror movie. Just put her in any type of horror movie. I think she'll make it work. She's that good. I love horror movies. I love Scarlett Johansson. That makes sense to me.
Boom. 2 words.
Yeah, I can absolutely see that. I would probably go down the route of. Do you know what I would love to see? And he's almost flirted with it, but it's in a kind of kids comedy movie. I would love to see Jim Carrey playing an evil bastard. Right, like Robin Williams did in 1 Hour Photo and Insomnia. I think Jim Carrey. I mean, you talked earlier on about different things. I think, like, obviously he played the Riddler in Batman Forever, right? Can you imagine how good how good Jim Carrey's either Joker or Riddler would have been in a dark Matt Reeves, Christopher Nolan Batman world?
Yeah, like if he was a proper nutcase. Like,
because the thing about Jim Carrey is, and I've got another one behind this as well, but Jim Carrey's a really, really good actor.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Like, really good. And I know he falls on the same tropes and whatever else, and he makes a lot of the same films, and we love him for what he is, but I think he's got that kind of edge to him that you could just see him. I think he could win an Oscar doing something like that.
Well, do you know, I was actually talking to my pal Nate about this at work. We talked about the Cable Guy, and he is a bad guy in that.
Great example.
It's borders on a horror film.
So good. Yeah,
borders on a horror film.
Fantastic in that.
Yeah,
that's an absolute. And it's very quotable. There's loads of really, really funny moments in it and stuff like that. But see, if you just like, if you skewed away from the comedy just a little bit, that's an out and out horror movie. Just some guy inserting himself into your life, deciding he's your best friend. Like,
do you know one that I didn't think we needed and we are getting? It may actually already have been out or be out by the time this episode comes out, but it's Hugh Grant in the horror film.
The Heretic.
How good does that look?
That'll be good.
Fucking good does that film look, man?
That and
he's going to be amazing.
Shudder, I think, are like the two that I'm really looking forward to.
Funnily enough, the other one that I was thinking, I think Hugh Grant looks really good in that. The other one that I was thinking of was Adam Sandler in a very similar way to what I'm saying about Jim Carrey. I could see Adam Sandler playing someone who, like, do you remember the film Rain on Me?
Yeah.
Right, this falls into that first question for me. An actor that I was like, my God, that's the first serious. I saw that before Punch Drunk Love and anything else. Saw him in that and I was like, God, my God, this guy can actually act. He's not just the wee things that he bits and does.
Gems, which you still haven't seen.
I've still not watched it. But I would love to see him playing someone who is just unhinged and doing evil shit. I think he would be so good at it.
I would say he's borderline unhinged in Punch Drunk Love, but no, he's not evil.
He's not evil.
He's not evil.
Definitely not evil.
That was my question.
I liked that. I mean, that was really good.
I like movies.
I
like this stuff, man. I like talking about this stuff. I like chatting with you guys.
That's why we started a podcast.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Any more for any more?
We'd had a question on
we did.
One of our,
so we did.
Videos.
We received our first listener question from Michael B. Cannon. Thank you very much, Mick.
I thought that was like a really Scottish version of Michael B. Jordan.
No, it's not. It's just
Michael B. Cannon.
Hugh Cannon. He has already picked up on the fact that we talk about the Three Musketeers quite a lot, and he has posed a question to our Stefan, and he has asked Stefan to link us to the musketeer that closest resembles us.
Yeah. I'm just going to say, and it's a Chandler quote, if I am not D'Artagnan, you are going to be on the receiving end, the tight end of a world-class hissy fit.
So, I'm already a wee bit annoyed because you've clearly not watched Three Musketeers. He's not one of them.
No, but I still want to be D'Artagnan. I'm basing this exclusively on the dog cartoon.
Oh, dog cartoon? No, I decided to stick to the Three Musketeers. This was like a really fun question for me. I'm going to be like up front, this isn't going to be very funny. This is me going to be just paying you guys a lot of compliments. I really hope it comes across how much I love you guys when I start talking about this.
Oh, hold on, he finds his notes.
I need to go to my notes that I've hidden away. So, the Three Musketeers, they share a lot of great characteristics. Ones that we all have. I think we'd all say we're all fiercely loyal to each other, and we all have a deep love for all things French.
Yes.
I think we can all.
My favourite French thing in the whole world is you.
I actually just listened to a podcast with Vieira the day, and he's probably my favourite French thing ever.
Nice one. That's a great choice.
I'll give you that.
Great choice.
I'm going to change my answer.
Absolutely be Thierry Henry.
I'm going to change my answer. I like Vieira better than you.
That's fine. I actually feel bad about saying nice things about you now. Okay, so the three musketeers are Porthos, Aramis and Athos. So, first one, Pete. Okay, you are the lovable big guy. You love a drink. Okay, you know everyone. Every time we go out for drinks, any time we go out in Coatbridge, walk into any pub, you'll speak to about 5 or 6 people before we get to the fucking bar. It's a nightmare because I know nobody. But anyway, you are the good-hearted, fun guy that everyone hopes is coming to the party.
I like this segment.
So that would make you Porthos.
Porthos, I'll take that.
Porthos,
You're
I'll
a
take
raging
that.
alcoholic.
I know.
To be fair, all 3 of them are raging alcoholics.
I'm more raging because Porthos is the fat one.
No, right, he's only the fat one in that one.
The other fat one.
So much. There was a couple of, another thing. They say he's a slave to fashion, and I really, really hope we can find that photo of him with that bag that you used to carry all the time.
I think
and
if
just with that
anybody,
haircut.
if anybody was thinking about being a slave to fashion, all they need to do is watch the Welcome to the Mates, Movies and Malts podcast and look at the jumper I'm wearing.
Well, can I just make a comment on that? One of the guys in my work, John Robertson, commented on how much he loved that jumper.
That's an amazing jumper.
He wants more chunky knit.
Yeah.
He said it was like H&M had a
baby with a mammoth.
a fisherman's sale.
I love that.
So
I love
he
that.
absolutely loved that jumper.
Hooks and maggots.
And he wants more chunky knit.
I'll take it. I like it, but heavy knit. Do you know what I mean? I like it. I mean, sherry heavy.
Right, okay, Jordan. So, you are I'd say you're the romantic of the 3 of us. You are hot-tempered, certainly were in your youth. And of the 3 of us, you are the storyteller, alright? And that's particularly apt because we recently discovered that you had started working on a book. I don't know if you want to actually start talking about what it's about or anything like that, but we were discussing it yesterday in the chat and we're absolutely buzzing for you, man. So happy that you decided to go down that route and stuff like that. I think you're going to be really good at it and I can't wait to hear what you've got to read about it.
Thank you.
The other thing, read about it? That doesn't make sense.
I knew what you meant.
What was her name? Emily Sandy in the corner.
And then the last part, this character, if anyone hasn't picked up yet, it's Aramis, okay? Now, he is a man of unshakable faith, and now, well, not
really old aftershave.
Well, not the religious type, you do have an unshakable faith and belief in your friends and your family and the people that you care about. One of the most supportive people I've ever known. This is how I was saying this isn't funny, this is me just like shouting you as we call
It's become very wholesome.
I don't like it.
So
Come
yeah,
fat dick.
Shut up, you fat dick.
there you go, that didn't come from me. I'll
Thank
have
you.
nice things to say about you. So yeah, I thought you lined up perfectly with that particular character. So that kind of by default leaves me as Athos, the quietest of the 3. I prefer to go out drinking when it's really just my closest friends.
Yeah.
They're the people that I can be myself around. I can be very hard on myself at times, but my friends are always there to back me up. And also the failed marriage thing, that just seems to be me all the time.
I'm also pointing out Steph, I just said hard on the podcast.
I didn't even clock it.
Hard on myself.
So there you go, Mick. That's how we rank up as the 3 musketeers.
Actually, I'm going to be honest, that was really, really
It was
good.
very beautiful
Like,
and very moving.
It was
thank you.
lovely, it was very wholesome, but I also thought it was pretty accurate. To be fair,
I'm not angry with that.
No, I'll take it. Like I now like the 3 Musketeers more.
Fantastic.
Because
well, that was what this was all really about.
Yeah.
Listen, I just, it's so cool that someone actually took the time to ask us a question. So I just wanted it to give it the attention that it deserved, just because I'm honestly so grateful. Not only that someone asked us a question about something, but the fact that it was about the 3 Musketeers.
Did you not see the other question?
Which one?
There was under that was another question in the comments.
Was that?
Did you not catch it?
No, I missed it. What was it?
It was why did you start the podcast, Jordan? And on that note,
on that bombshell, thank you so much for tuning in for another week. I have been Jordan.
I've been Stefan.
I've been Pete.
Thank you very much.
Actually, I've been Porthos.
Yes, Porthos the Pirate, Aramis and Athos, the de facto leader.
All for one.
Not really.
One for all. I'll take that.
Catch you later. Bye.